Hello, and welcome to Chapter 3 of this Medieval Charter Challenge. Today we're going to be playing with a yeoman family. And so yeomen are the class that is above peasants but below merchants. And today we're going to be playing with Arthur and Alessia. And they own a market farm, and so they're going to be planting and harvesting some crops that they will be selling at their home business. So Arthur here is fertilizing the fields. They're growing corn and grain and rice and hay. And there's also some berry bushes on their lot, as well as a couple fruit trees that they can sell at their home business. Now Arthur is a fortune sim. His wife Alessia is a knowledge sim. Oh, and also they have a small garden this is more for their own family and for stocking their own fridge. So they just have some beans and some squash and pumpkins, which I believe will produce fruit and vegetables in the summer. So we'll get to see that when we play them during the summer. So on the first day, Alessia almost burns the house down, cooking some braised rabbit. Luckily, she pulls it out in time before it starts a fire. And Arthur is working very hard here, trying to sell to his first few customers. And as I mentioned previously, Arthur is a fortune sim. So I am going to be trying to get this family to rank up to merchants within his lifetime, because I think that fits with his character. Now, in order to rank up to merchants, they will need about 100,000 simoleons in their own savings in order to pay for their freedom fees as well as the merchant house and business lots. So we'll see how that goes. But he's doing great here, just racking up stars. He even ranked up on the first day, which I've never had anyone do. And also I planted these tea bushes on their lot, which I forgot to mention earlier. So they'll also be selling tea leaves. Now that night, Arthur goes to a part of the forest where there's quite a bit of forageables available. And these are additional forageables that he can gather and sell at his market farm. And so I'm going to allow him to come here once per season to gather mushrooms and berries and such, in addition to what he already can gather at home and sell there. So this is just a way of getting some extra income. On the second day of spring, Alessia pops into her third trimester. I did miss her getting her second bump, which is unfortunate, but she's now in her third trimester, and she's feeling good enough to help out with the home business today. And actually, because of her doing such a great job with her sales, they rank up again. And so I need to buy 2 rank up items now. So I bought this window and then this wall hanging. And then Arthur keeps the shop open late that night. As you can see, he's a very hard worker, and he's working so hard that he really does not smell good. And this is kind of a theme with this family. They both are just, it is very hard to keep your Sims' hygiene up when they're doing all this manual labor. And speaking of, Alessia wakes up in the middle of the night, runs to the chamber pot, squats on it, and then walks to the corner of the room and pees herself. It's one of those things where it's just like sim logic. Now, the next morning, Alessia is 9 months pregnant, and she is fixing the wash tub because that's just how awesome she is, I guess. And then while she's working in the fields picking tea, she goes into labor, and the midwife barely gets there in time. But she gives birth in the middle of the tea fields to a baby boy, and they name him Leaf. Shortly after that, Alessia gets pregnant once again, and she actually almost has a miscarriage because this is a really rough pregnancy for her, and her needs are just very low. Now, on our 4th day of spring here, once again, we have Arthur at the home business trying to sell his harvested items to his customers, and he's doing quite a bit of work, doing quite a bit of jobs all at once. Meanwhile, 2 of his customers decide to have a water balloon fight in his cornfield. You might notice there's fewer cornfields here than there were at the beginning, and that's because we lost some to an early frost, which is part of that mod. So here Arthur is continuing to just push himself to make sales and also be the cashier and try to manage the fact that he just has some creepy customers when he ranks up again to rank 3. So they have quite a bit of money now, and I bought that tapestry for their rank up item. And then as you can see, some of his customers enjoy helping him out a little. I think Meadow sees how hard he's working, maybe, and she wants to help out because everything she picks is going straight into his inventory. And then Alessia gets her first pregnancy bump for her 2nd pregnancy, which is, it's gonna be pretty crazy having a toddler and a baby. And so Arthur here is just as stinky as Leaf, his son. He just changed his diaper and now he smells bad. And then the 5th day of spring, we're just kind of starting out with a relaxing morning of tending to the garden and doing some needs management. Except for Alessia, who I tried to get into this bed. It was very hard not to use max motives at this point just because I felt so bad that she was having such terrible pregnancy symptoms, especially because she got out of bed and to help Leaf age up into a toddler, which I don't know where Arthur was or why he couldn't do this, but I think Leaf is so cute as a toddler. I think he's the cutest toddler so far. And then, yeah, she tries once again to use the chamber pot, but doesn't. And then tries again. I don't know if it's just because of where I've placed this chamber pot or what's going on, but she just passes out in the corner. So it's kind of an all-time low, I feel like. I feel bad for her. Later in the day, she wakes up and it's dark out and she's on the floor and she just goes right into the bed, even though her bladder is about to burst. So yeah, these pregnancy symptoms she's having are just terrible. And oh yeah, this was why Arthur couldn't help Leaf age up into a toddler, because he was too busy with the business and with restocking and trying to close out for the day and make as many sales as possible. And this is just how Fortune Sims are. They get very absorbed in their work to the point where sometimes they kind of forget to spend time with their family. Oh yeah, and then Alessia heard the shell ringing downstairs and got up to answer it. and then had another accident. I've never had a sim answer a phone that was like on another story of the house before like that. And she was feeling hungry and she tried to have some salad, even though she smelled really bad from having an accident again, and she fell asleep in her food. So she's just having a really hard time with this pregnancy. So between taxes, tithes, and fees, they owed over 7,000 simoleons, which means we met our first goal for the treasury, and I will be building a well now, and then that will be deducted from the current treasury balance. So hopefully soon we will be on our way to upgrading this settlement to a hamlet. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.